90% of founders don't quit because they run out of money. That's a myth. They quit because they ran out of energy. They think they're hustling their way to success, but in reality, they're just slow cooking the nervous system until it collapses. It's not cash flow that takes them out of the game. It's burnout. And yet, we all know the stories of elite founders who seemed untouchable. They're firing on all cylinders across multiple ventures, executing harder, recovering deeper, and compounding their wins faster than everybody else. The difference between winners and losers, between burnout founders and burnout-proof founders, is not luck, it's energy mastered. Today I'm going to show you how to execute like an elite founder and become burnout-proof. So you stop sacrificing your edge, your relationships, and your sense of self for a success that will never arrive if you don't take care of yourself. But the first thing to understand is energy is not something you find, it's something you engineer. But most entrepreneurs treat business like a marathon. Relentless grind, endless miles, but your brain is not a marathon engine, it's a sprint engine. It's built for bursts of intensity, followed by recovery. Think of it like a race car. Too much gas and you blow the engine. Too much brake and you stall. Elite founders know exactly when to floor it and when to pit stop. In other words, elite founders are cognitive athletes. The problem is that, unlike elite athletes, nobody trains us in energy mastery, but it is one of the most fundamental skills to learn. Because the truth is, time is fixed, but energy is variable. And how you manage that variable determines your results. Your nervous system, in essence, runs on rhythm. There's two modes to it. One is the sympathetic mode, which is the fight, drive, execute. The other is this parasympathetic mode, which is rest, recover, reset. Elite performers oscillate between the two, like perfectly tuned cycles of stress and recovery. But average performers grind in a straight line. And that straight line, which I call linearity, is what kills, because it produces fatigue, instability, and burnout. Oscillation builds capacity. If you have no oscillation, there's no recovery. And if there's no recovery, there's no adaptation. And without brain adaptation, there's inevitable decay. Your brain is a sprint engine, but if you force it into marathon mode, it melts. I remember coaching an agency founder who was pulling quite literally 80-hour weeks. He was making a lot of money, right? But he was running purely on adrenaline. Within a year, he couldn't concentrate for more than 10 minutes at a time. And small decisions felt impossible. His edge evaporated. When we train oscillation, we started with my ring fencing method, 90-minute deep work spreads followed by real recovery. Not only did his energy return, his revenue even climbed more because his nervous system wasn't his enemy anymore. It was his true engine. But let's go deeper because there's a ton of misconceptions between stress and burnout. They're not the same thing. Stress is physiological, it spikes your nervous system, you feel anxious, wired, and irritable. But burnout is mostly psychological. It doesn't just make you tired, it makes you numb, apathetic, disengaged, like the spark is gone, like you don't care anymore. And once burnout sets in, it doesn't just slow down, it deletes your drive, it corrodes your clarity, it makes you question whether you even want to keep playing the game. In founders, I see three triggers over and over. One is obviously overwork. Scaling chaos and not system, having under rewards, so building but not compounding, falling below their expectations. And the third one is linearity, working like a plow horse, never like an athlete. Stress is feedback, burnout is failure to listen to that feedback. Christina Maslach, which is the leading burnout psychologist, shows that burnout erodes three things: energy, engagement, and efficacy. It doesn't just sap fuel, it rewrites identity. And in neuroscience, we know that chronic stress without recovery floods the blood with cortisol, shrinking the hippocampus, the brain's learning and memory center. Translation, it makes you dumber, slower, and less capable over time. So how do elite founders stay untouchable? How do they become burnout proof? They don't avoid stress, they can't do that. They train for it. They build nervous systems that expand under pressure. And here's the blueprint. First, you have to learn to start oscillating. Most founders live in the gray zone, half working, half distracted, constantly checking their phones, and never giving 100% attention to anything. That drains you faster than anything else. Elite performers create performance block, 90-minute sprints aligned with circadian rhythms, 15 to 30-minute recovery breaks, and repeat that 3 to 6 times a day. That is the basis of our ring fencing session system, designed to protect those oscillation cycles and unlock elite execution. If you grind non-stop, you will lose to someone who recovers better than you. But not all recovery is created equal. Scrolling Instagram, Netflix is not recovery, that's numbing. Active recovery, the one that actually works resets your nervous system. It can be cold showers, ice bath, or heat therapy, sauna steam, or breath work, exercise, mindfulness. It doesn't matter what you choose to do. What matters is that you actually stack these to clear the stress residue that kills your performance. The third thing to do is to expand capacity. Stress is not your problem. Unrecovered stress is. Elite founders train the nervous system to tolerate even more stress every single week. And they do that through cold exposure, breath holds, high intensity work, and then recovering deeply, tripling down on oscillation. That is periodization for entrepreneurs. Cycles of intensity and restoration. That's how you grow capacity systematically. And the fourth thing is an advanced technique called cognitive reframing. Because burnout doesn't come just from stress itself, it comes from the story you tell yourself about stress. If you frame stress as a threat, it breaks you. If you frame it as a challenge, it grows you. And Harvard research proves that simply shifting your stress mindset reduces cortisol, improves focus, and boosts confidence, which is massive. And elite founders learn this. They flip the script. Every time they feel discomfort, they know it means growth. Every time they feel stress signals, they know they're playing a bigger day. Every time they see pressure, they take it as proof that they're doing something meaningful. With that reframe, stress becomes fuel, and your nervous system becomes anti-fragile, stronger with each challenge. And this is exactly what we train at Selfmastered. We don't just prevent burnout. We engineer founders into high-energy execution machine. If you want to learn how to implement Ring Fence Session and our full recovery system, tap on the link below. This is serious, because burnout is a graveyard of founders who thought hustle was enough to win. But if you don't engineer recovery, you will get buried like the other 90%. But if you do, you will outlast, you will out-execute, you will outscale, you will achieve your dreams because you never quit. So your biggest bottleneck now is not your market, just strategy or IQ, is your ability to consistently execute. And the bottleneck is most likely your energy. So engineer it, protect it, and watch yourself become burnout-proof. Because this is one of the most important competitive edges that you can stop. If you become burnout-proof, over time, your execution will be consistent. If you want our proven system to scale yourself and become relentlessly consistent in executing the right things, book a call with us. See you on the call.